Could this be goodbye? But if it isn't goodbye, it wouldn't be a great beginning without mentioning those who've been part of it. Since I started posting in 2019, I've met beautiful people along the way. Some bonds have been created, some friends became family, and I know it's impossible to mention everyone. And as I reflect on my past journey, I sit here in anticipation of a new beginning, a great new start.
Deep in the shadows, I know it's hard to put one foot in front of the other.
To my fragrance family and those who've rooted for me throughout the years, thank you. And this is for you. My passion for fragrances was ignited as early in life as I can remember, growing up around a mother who was obsessed with self-care and smelling good. As such, from as early as 5 years, my sensory journey began. I started associating scents with memories, events, places, and of course, my gorgeous mother. Though she's no longer with us and been gone for 29 years, she unknowingly left me with a coping mechanism where I could go back in time and unlock memories. At 18, I got my very first job. And that right there, guys, was the beginning of my actual fragrance collection journey. In no time, my collection grew from 5 to 20 to more. Then 2019 came and the world came to a standstill. You see, most of us were stuck at home on our phones and computers. The entire world was linked by the web. And I discovered a platform that ignited my passion, a platform that had frackheads as obsessed about perfume as I was. Finally, I could rationalize my behavior. I wasn't crazy after all. Every week I'd come across a new brand I'd never heard of before. Of course, I kept on going to the platform where I watched videos on perfume reviews. Then one day, it came to me. Instead of searching for someone to post something about those fragrances, I could be that person. So I set up my phone. I set up my phone upright and I filmed myself. And that, my fragrance review journey began. Hi guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Cecilia. I go by the name CeeChronicles. This is my first time here on YouTube. I decided to start my very first YouTube video with reviewing perfumes from the Middle East. The first one I'm going to talk about is Dal Al Hanin. This is by a house called Ad Al Zafran. The last one I'm going to talk about today is Rakba. Initially, I mixed my content up because I love all sorts of fragrances. Anytime I'd post a popular fragrance, getting 500 views was something that was actually worth popping a bottle of champagne over. The opposite was the case for the Middle Eastern perfume review videos. Views on those skyrocketed. My audience genuinely wanted to know and hear my thoughts on these fragrances. For me, the platform had chosen my niche. In no time, I found myself with a family across the world. They were the CeeChronicles family, and 3 p.m. was our date. Every day of the week for years. In this community, I found joy and love. I made friends and colleagues, and some bonds became family. Though I enjoyed setting up the camera every day and sniffing different fragrances, 2024 came and I suffered a burnout. These fragrance companies I spoke about on a daily basis for years hadn't even reached out. My passion had actually made me go on and on without direction. Then one fateful day, I set up a camera, but this time, not for a review. It was in August 2024. I was going to make my last announcement and stop the habit that had cost me so much time, money, taken me away from family and made me collect hordes and hordes of bottles with different juice. I wanted to go to the Middle East and drop one final video. I wanted to meet these brands. Maybe, just maybe, I'd get recognition. So I announced to the CeeChronicles family that my exit wish was to go to Dubai. If I got nothing from the trip, at least I'd have the satisfaction that I did my best. I told the CeeChronicles family and it was well received. I got donations close to $1,000 and there was no going back. I had to manifest this trip, no matter what. I emailed numerous brands that I spoke about, and no one was willing to add to my funds, and I had no plan. I thought of my friend Paula. I sent her a message and crossed my fingers for a reply. This was odd, but the days were moving fast. How would I tell those that had contributed that I didn't go? Paula replied me within an hour. She said, "How much are you short of on your ticket?" I couldn't get myself to say anything. In my mind, anything would do. She then said, "I will contribute 400 towards the trip, and I hope that helps." Little known to her, I was short of exactly 347 on the ticket, and that 400 enabled me purchase the ticket that very day. Back to the emails I'd sent the companies. One company social media manager had reached out. While talking to her, I asked what budget I needed to make a perfume, all the while throwing hints to her to see if she would suggest creating a perfume with me. She politely gave me details.
Hey, Cece, that's so lovely. I'll get you anything you want if you're coming to the store. We have absolutely no problem. Once again, I'm hoping to see you as well. Just let me know.
But kindly said, "Unfortunately, we have spent so much on this event and I can't promise you anything." And that was the end of that one. Then I thought of someone. She had nothing to do with this industry, but she was warm. And she checked up on me from time to time, but we'd never spoken at length. Her name was Tamika. I sent her a message asking to call me. I'm sure she found that weird, but we did speak anyway. I asked her if she'd love to make a perfume with me, and I told her what it entails. She slept over it and got back to me. She had made her research as well, and we agreed on something. We agreed to seal the deal with a pen. She said, "I hope I won't make you lose opportunities in the Middle East." And I told her this. In my years of talking about fragrances, I never got sponsorship. And you, my dear, I spoke to in less than a day. You've given me a solid answer. Even if an opportunity to create a fragrance would come, I would rather create one exclusively with somebody who has faith in me. And that right there was the birth of Macedon Perfumes. Macedon as in Mima, Cecilia, and Brendan. My partner and I had an understanding that she would take care of the fine print and deal with the manufacturers while I handled the creativity and the rest. While I was in the Middle East, I would double by meeting the perfumers and laying the groundwork. What had started as a trip to meet with the brands that I'd spoken about for years became the foundation of our business. It was going to be a lot of work, so I decided to bring my daughter with me. In Dubai, I met a lot of wonderful people. I met the faces behind the brands, the owners, the founders. I was happy to learn about the history behind the companies I'd spoken about for years. I met fellow YouTubers. I met social media personalities and people I'd only seen in my workspace online. And here we were all in one place to celebrate our passion, our love for fragrances. What an amazing experience it was. I made a lot of connections and contacts. Everyone was warm. I was even hosted exclusively by one brand. I felt welcomed and humbled by how well I was received and celebrated. A lot of people recognized me, which is something I hadn't seen coming. For sure, social media is indeed a powerful tool. Those memories I will hold on to for life. I honestly enjoyed the fair, but my real work started as soon as the fair ended. I stayed in the Middle East for 21 days after the fair, trying different formulations, mixing different oils, mixing different ingredients, making numerous calls and sealing deals. I had to choose a bottle. You see, I had to choose a cap, a stepper, the atomizer, the packaging, the print, the color, and of course, have to make a sketch of everything as soon as I got home. Of course, I chose the biggest bottle. I wanted 120 mLs because I wanted my family to have a little extra. I also went for the Extrait because we were not compromising on quality. I chose the color black and a slide-out box. I made sure to be as present as possible in the creation of this fragrance. Then came the naming of the fragrance. I named it in honor of my mother, the very woman who had made me fall in love with perfume. I felt putting my mother's name there would make her proud. Her name was Mary, so I called the creation Proud Mary. The project came with a lot of challenges and delays. We couldn't start until early 2025. Then just after the new year, I fell ill. I was in hospital for over a month. It felt like the end, and I didn't know how to communicate this to my partner. I was worried she would not want to proceed with the project if she knew how dire my health situation was. I was confused. I chose not to contact her the entire time I was in hospital. I told my daughter to run the channel. I told my son to inform her that I had taken ill and it wasn't nothing serious. In reality, the uncertainty and helplessness left me terrified. I wondered why something like this would happen at a point in time in my life when everything was about to change. And looking back, I wish I had handled the situation better from a business standpoint. Fast forward to when I was released from hospital. It was time to push forward the project that had been delayed by a further month and a half. What we had projected as our release date in April or May had obviously been pushed forward to somewhere between June, July, or thereabout. With the new lease of life, it was time for me to finish this project. The workaholic in me kicked in and wouldn't allow me to delegate. So I ensured to put as much of my personal touch as I could in this project, from stitching every hem of every garment I wore for the photo shoot, to adding a card with a personalized message from me to you, including the bottle number which you will receive. Now, without further ado, allow me to introduce to you my very first creation, Proud Mary Extrait de Parfum, an oriental fruity floral fragrance for both men and women. This fragrance was created under my direction. Proud Mary is a modern multifunctional fragrance aimed at captivating the wearer by its fascinating use of both fruits and florals. Top notes are a mixture of a delicate but crisp pineapple together with dried fruits. The fruits are carefully curated to enhance and complement the luxurious floral mid with their delicate sweetness. The mid opens to a mix of airy white florals with jasmine particularly highlighted for its rich, complex aroma. The base introduces a warm and sweet vanilla as well as cardamom working together with hints of spices and light woods. Sweet tonka and just enough patchouli is added to the base for its rich and sensual quality. I do hope you will enjoy this very first creation of mine. It is a limited release, but I look forward to creating more fragrances under the brand Macedon Perfumes. Remember, smelling good is a form of good manners. Cheers.